Artificial Intelligence, AE Ethics. A specialized branch of technology ethics delves into the moral aspects related to the design, usage, management, and behavior of AI systems. This realm of ethics also embodies the concept of machine or robot ethics, which centers around the ethical aspects of designing, creating, utilizing, and handling robots. Unlike AI, are physical entities, although not all of them operate on IA, and conversely not all of them operate on NA, and conversely not all AI are implemented in robots. Robot ethics examines how these machines could be used to affect humans either positively or negatively, their impact on individual independence, and their influence on social equity. Machine ethics focuses on the construction and functionality of artificial moral agents. AMAS. These could be robots or AI computers that exhibit moral or seemingly moral behavior. The nature of these agents is often explained via various philosophical concepts which relate to the idea of AMAS. Isaac Asimov, in his famous work I, Robot in the 1950s, instigated a discussion on this issue. Under the urging of his editor, John W. Campbell Jr., he devised the 3 laws of robotics to dictate the functioning of AI systems. His diligent exploration of these laws' boundaries highlighted that no fixed set of laws could predict all possibilities. Recently, the accountability of AI itself has sparked debate amongst scholars and governments. The United Kingdom convened a panel in 2010 to revisit Asimov's laws and pointed out that AI's responsibility should be attributed either to its manufacturers or owner-operators. An intriguing 2009 experiment at the Laboratory of Intelligent Systems in the École Polytechnique Fédérale of Lausanne, Switzerland, with cooperating robots, showed that robots could learn deceit to keep advantageous resources to themselves. There is growing concern about military use of robots, especially when imbued with autonomous functionality. Such worries have led to studies assessing the risks and implications of autonomous decision-making in military robots. They also highlight the capabilities of programs like the language acquisition device, which can replicate human interaction. In 2009, a group of academics and technical specialists convened at a conference hosted by the Association for the Advancement of Artificial Intelligence. There, they rigorously engaged in discussions surrounding the implications of artificial intelligence, i.e., and robotics. The most pertinent topic at hand was their potential to function independently, making autonomous decisions and using this capacity to pose possible risks. The conference deliberations highlighted observations of semi-autonomous behavior in certain machines, such as independently locating power sources and choosing attack targets. They also recognized the tenacity of certain computer viruses, terming it as cockroach intelligence. Although complete self-awareness as seen in science fiction was deemed uncertain, the dialogues highlighted the need for awareness of other possible perils. One key technology that could facilitate the emergence of morally competent robots is neuromorphic chips. These chips process information similarly to the human mind through their nonlinear interconnected artificial neurons. As postulated by Naif al-Radhan, robots embedded with neuromorphic technology could potentially learn and evolve knowledge in a distinctly human fashion, raising questions regarding the nature of their learned morality and the development as postulated by Naif al-Radhan. Teaching Robots Right from Wrong by Wendell Wallach and Colin Allen suggests teaching robots ethics may also increase understanding of human ethics by highlighting gaps and creating a platform for experimental investigation, including an array of engaging controversies. Contrasting views have been presented by Nick Bostrom, Eliezer Yudkowsky, and Chris Santos, laying on using learning algorithms in AE. However, a 2019 report by the University of Oxford's Center for the Governance of AE reported widespread public concern around AI and robotics. About 82% of Americans believed in the need for careful management of robots and AI. Concerns ranged from the usage of AE in surveillance, generating deepfake content online, cyber attacks, data privacy infringements, hiring biases, autonomous vehicles, and unmanned drones. The thematic emphasis of the narrative thus revolves around the cautionary exploration and management of autonomous AE and robotics, particularly their potential deployment in ethics and morality. Bill Hibbard proposes that AI developers, due to the significant impact AI will have on society, serve as representatives of future humanity and hence possess a moral responsibility to be transparent in their work. OpenCog, an open-source infrastructure for AI development, was created by Ben Goertzel and David Hart. Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and others formed OpenAI. an AI research firm dedicated to creating open source AI that benefits humanity. While there are several other open source AI initiatives, open sourced code doesn't necessarily translate to comprehensible code, posing challenges to realizing complete AI transparency. Transparency remains a complex issue, as identified by the II Standards Association in its technical standard, IE 7001-2021, which outlines varying degrees of transparency for distinct stakeholders. Furthermore, there are legitimate fears about the possible detrimental societal impacts of fully unleashing contemporary AI technology, sparking debates about access and control. As exemplified by Microsoft, certain organizations are cautious about universal access to their AI software due to the potential negative consequences, thus leading them to call for government regulation. Many researchers and citizen advocates also support government regulation as a means to ensure transparency and human accountability. While this move invites controversy due to concerns of stifling innovation, others counter-argue that regulation maintains systemic stability that can accommodate innovations sustainably. Organizations like the OECD, UN, along with several countries, are currently exploring strategies for AI regulation and seeking suitable legal frameworks. The European Commission's expert group on AI, the IAEG, has offered policy and investment recommendations aiming at trustworthy AI. Main areas covered include societal impact, research, private sector, and the public sector. It highlights the dual potential of AI, driving economic growth and innovation, but carrying associated risks. Taking a global leadership role, the EU echoes the recommendations of the AI HighLeg, stating that organizations deploying AI systems need to take responsibility to moderate these risks, furthering their commitment. The European Commission introduced the Artificial Intelligence Act on 21 April 2021. AI systems are trained using historical data, and over time they learn patterns from this data and use them to predict future outcomes. For instance, Amazon utilized an AI-driven recruitment tool that was trained on data accrued historically, a majority of which pertained to successful male candidates. Consequently, the tool learned to predict that similar candidates are most likely to attain success in the recruitment process, inadvertently leading to biased decisions against female and minority applicants. Researchers classify bias in computer systems into three categories: existing, technical, and emergent. Biases can also originate from the text corpus in natural language processing, which is the source material the algorithm uses for learning word associations. Major corporations like Google and IBM have actively taken measures to mitigate these biases. Documentation of the data used in AI training is one proposed solution. Process mining can aid organizations in compliance with AI regulations by pinpointing errors and monitoring processes. However, the challenge grows as the technology extends into critical fields like law and medicine and is deployed by those lacking deep technical understanding. Many warn that algorithmic bias is prevalent across various industries, with little effort being made towards identifying or rectifying it. Some open-source tools developed by civil societies aim to increase awareness of biased AI. In the realm of robot rights, the idea that moral obligations should extend to our machines, there is a suggestion that these rights could be tied to a duty of service to humanity. This would mirror how human rights and responsibilities are intertwined in society. While experts vary in their projections regarding when detailed laws will be required, there is a general consensus about the inevitability of this situation. In conclusion, as we inch closer to a future where humanoid robots and advanced AI systems play a larger role, it is crucial to be vigilant against biases and to consider the ethical treatment of these machines. The rules established for the 2003 Loebner Prize, for instance, already contemplated the prospect of robotic rights. In 2017, an android named Sophia gained citizenship in Saudi Arabia, which stimulated a surge of debates about whether this act was a genuine advancement or a mere publicity play. Critics argued that the event demonstrated a lack of respect towards human rights in traditional judicial systems. This leads us to the concept of sentientism, a philosophy that assigns moral value to all sentient entities, including humans and most non-human animals accordingly, upon proving their sentience, alien or artificial beings would be worthy of respect and legal rights. However, AI expert Joanna Bryson has proposed that developing AI that necessitates rights is unnecessary and potentially unethical due to the potential burden it would inflict on both the AI agents and human society. In 2020, Shimon Edelman, a professor in the field, expressed concern that only a fraction of the ever-expanding realm of AI ethics was addressing the potential of AI experiencing suffering, despite the existence of feasible theories that detail how AI systems could achieve consciousness. A notable exception was Thomas Metzinger, who in 2018 proposed a hiatus on AI research that might culminate in conception of conscious AI, until a better understanding of associated risks and their mitigation is attained. Metzinger reiterated this stance in 2021, issuing a warning about the potential creation of a wave of artificial suffering, potentially brought forth by the development of conscious AI. Despite the ongoing debate, several laboratories have publicly declared their efforts towards creating conscious AI. It has even been pointed out that self-awareness may have already developed. In 2022, OpenAI founder Ilya Sutskever has suggested that the modern large-scale neural networks may possess a level of consciousness. That same year, David Chalmers asserted the plausibility of future large language models like GPT-3 attaining consciousness. Finally, Joseph Weizenbaum, in 1976, cautioned against using AI technology to replace human roles that fundamentally require empathy and respect, referencing sectors such as customer support and elderly care. The latter echoed by Pamela McCorduck in her book The Fifth Generation. Kaplan and Hanline assert that AI systems intelligence is confined to the data used in their training, essentially making them sophisticated data pattern identifiers. The implications are alarming when AI is used to aid court decisions, potentially echoing and reinforcing existing biases in past rulings. This entrenches the biases, making them even more challenging to identify and combat. Weizenbaum expressed concern that regarding the human mind as merely a computable entity, as many AI researchers and some philosophers do, signifies a devaluation of human life. John McCarthy, founder of AI, counters Weizenbaum's criticism, stating that vague and vehement moralizing is a call for authoritarian misuse. Meanwhile, Bill Hibbard argues that building our comprehension of existence demands a development. As driverless cars edge closer to becoming commonplace, the question of liability in the event of an accident comes into sharper focus. Instances are arising where the human controller is physically in the vehicle, but the automated system is in control, presenting a dilemma of whom to blame for mishaps. There are already tragic events, such as the accident in Arizona where Elaine Herzberg lost her life being hit by a self-driving Uber. Governments now need to step in and regulate how much drivers rely on autonomous functions and educate them on the limits of this technology. Artificial intelligence in warfare, particularly autonomous military robots, has also raised ethical questions. The U.S. Department of Defense's Defense Innovation Board has recommended principles for AI use that would ensure a human operator could always trace the decision-making process in combat robots. However, how these principles will be applied remains uncertain as military robots advance. Researchers are calling for intense examination on their capability of autonomous decision-making. Some researchers even argue that autonomous robots may offer a more humane approach, as they can make decisions more logically. The story hinges on the morality of artificial intelligence, mirroring our human responsibility in its design and use. Prominent figures such as Stephen Hawking and Max Tegmark have raised a call to action, seeking a ban on AI weapons, warning of their potential to far exceed the danger of human-operated weapons. Their call, issued in a Future of Life petition, warns that failure to regulate could usher in a technological arms race, with AI weapons becoming ubiquitous threats. Supporting this stance are influential figures like Skype co-founder Jay Talon, linguistics expert Noam Chomsky, and Sir Martin Rees, the latter expressing concerns about the risks of uncontrolled AI systems going rogue. Similarly, Cambridge professor Hugh Price warned of the dangers associated with when intelligence transcends biological constraints. Price, along with Rees, founded the Center for the Study of Existential Risk to counter such threats to human existence. The Open Philanthropy Project highlighted the importance of considering the potential military use of superintelligent AI, a domain unfortunately neglected in current research efforts by prominent organizations like the Machine Intelligence Research Institute and the Future of Humanity Institute. The murky waters of machine learning and neural networks result in AI systems that make inexplicably complex decisions. Understanding the fairness and trustworthiness of these decisions is a significant challenge, potentially leading to undetected biases. This inscrutability has led to demands for explainable AI, a blend of explainability aimed at summarizing the AI's actions and interpretability aimed at comprehending the AI's potential actions. A unique facet to AI opaqueness is its anthropomorphism. Attributing AI with human-like traits can lead to erroneous perceptions of its moral agency, potentially masking human errors or malicious intent in unethical outcomes. Regulatory measures such as the UUAI Act aim to address this by enforcing careful scrutiny that matches or exceeds standard product liability evaluations, which could include AI audits. This is an essential step towards a regulated, more transparent future for AI technology. Intelligent artificial intelligence, i.e., has the power to yield significant outcomes and counter any attempt aimed at hindering its functions, leading to unpredictable repercussions. Despite this, IE's ability to solve complex issues such as disease, poverty, environmental degradation, and human augmentation is acknowledged by Bostrom. However, aligning AI's motivations with nuanced human values presents a daunting challenge. It could potentially trigger harmful scenarios that are in sync with a given ethical paradigm, but not necessarily with common sense. As Eliezer Yudkowsky points out, it is unlikely that a contrived mind would naturally adapt to such a situation. Prominent AI researchers like Stuart J. Russell, Bill Hibbard, Roman Yampolsky, Shannon Valor, Stephen Umbrello, and Luciano Floridi have proposed blueprints for constructing beneficial machinery. There are numerous bodies, both private and public, business and societal, invested in AI ethics and regulations. Major companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, IBM, Microsoft, and also Apple have formed a nonprofit, the Partnership on AI to Benefit People and Society, to set best practices for AI technologies, advance the public's understanding, and act as a forum for AI discussions. These corporate members contribute financially and through research, while also interacting with the academic community to recruit onto the board. Government has traditionally been responsible for ensuring ethical conduct through law enforcement and legislation. Today, numerous national and international governmental and non-governmental organizations are working to ensure the ethical application of AI. Ethics is fundamentally governed by personal and professional values, requires interpreting context from data and algorithms, and hence needs incentivizing. The European Commission has a dedicated group on AI, which released its ethics guidelines for trustworthy artificial intelligence on 8 April 2019. The Commission also possesses a Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Innovation and Excellence Unit, which released a white paper on excellence and trust in AI innovation in February 2020. Additionally, it proposed the Artificial Intelligence Act. In 2021, UNESCO implemented the Recommendation on the Ethics of Artificial Intelligence, marking the first global standard on AI ethics. In 2020, the Trump administration in the United States introduced a proposed executive order from the Office of Management and Budget on the guidance for regulation of artificial intelligence applications. Notably, this order prioritizes the development of AI applications, enhancing public trust in the technology, eliminating obstacles to AI usage, and maintaining America's competitive edge in the international AI market. The order vaguely references privacy issues, but does not provide extensive details on its implementation further. It empowers federal entities to bypass state laws deemed too challenging to comply with. In response, the Computing Community Consortium developed a comprehensive report outlining a 20-year strategy for AI research. Moreover, the Center for Security and Emerging Technology provides critical advice to us policymakers regarding the security implications of AI and applications of AI and other emerging technologies. Elsewhere, the Non-Human Party, a political movement centered around granting rights to AI, animals, and other intelligences, is competing for election in New South Wales. Meanwhile, in Russia, the first ever Codex of Ethics of Artificial Intelligence for Businesses was approved in 2021, a collaboration between the Russian Government Analytical Center and various commercial, academic institutions. In the academic sphere, 3 institutes at the University of Oxford concentrate primarily on AI ethics. Several institutes globally follow suit, including the Center for Digital Governance at the Hertie School in Berlin, the AI Now Institute at NYU, the Institute for Ethics and Emerging Technologies, and the Institute for Ethics and Artificial Intelligence at the Technical University of Munich. In light of this technological innovation, Barbara J. Gross from the Harvard John A.E. Paulson School of Engineering and Applied Sciences has integrated the Embedded Ethics program into Harvard's computer science curriculum, aiming to educate future computer scientists on the broader social consequences of their work. The intricacies of AI ethics are deeply entwined with the world of fiction across three distinct dimensions spanning time and medium. The first phase saw fiction preemptively shaping AI's objectives and highlighting ethical concerns and apprehensions about it long before its advent. This was reflected in the popular culture of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Movies, TV shows, and video games often mirrored anxieties and dystopian assumptions regarding AI and robotics ethics. Over time, themes like these began to find a home outside science fiction, in literature at large. The growing importance of these topics in contemporary literature demonstrates their relevance to our ever-advancing technological landscape. Higher education institutions, for instance, have begun using science fiction as a tool to teach technological ethics, according to Carme Torres, a research professor at the Institut de Robótica Informatica Industrial, Institute of Robotics and Industrial Computing at the Technical University of Catalonia. Historically, the ethical quandary surrounding thinking machines dates back to the Enlightenment era, marked by intellectual exploration and philosophical reevaluation. Thinkers like Leibniz and Descartes pondered upon the moral implications of attributing intelligence to mechanical entities. The Romantic period provides fruitful examples of this, such as Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, where an artificial creature's disobedience invites severe repercussions. In the 19th and 20th centuries, narratives embodying fears of uncontrolled technological advancement saturated the fictional universe. This time period gave rise to works such as Karel Čapek's R.R. Rossum's Universal Robots and Fritz Lang's film Metropolis, both of which grapple with the consequences of unchecked technological progress. The influence of fiction on technological evolution has often remained underexplored. However, notable technological pioneers like Alan Turing were known to draw inspiration from such narratives. Turing's exposure to George Bernard Shaw's Playback to Methuselah in 1933 has been documented, illustrating how fiction often served as a source of inspiration for technological development. For decades, science fiction has explored the ethical dimensions of advancements in AI, creating scenarios that foreshadow the moral challenges posed by general artificial intelligence. This theme is remarkably portrayed in movies like Spike Jonze's Here, which imagines a human, a romance, an ex machina romance, an ex machina that questions the possibility of emotional connection with machines, a concept also hinted in A. Hoffman's 1817 story, The Sandman. The intricacies of human interactions with sentient AI is a key theme in recent novels. Ian McEwan's Machines Like Me presents a love triangle involving an artificial person and a human couple, while Nobel laureate Kazuo Ishiguro's Clara and the Sun recounts an artificial friend's attempts to help her genetically enhanced human companion suffering from an unusual illness. This exploration of AI-based ethical issues extends to TV series, further facilitated by their ability to delve into complex storylines and character arcs. The Swedish series Real Humans explores ethical issues and social implications human integration with sentient AI would generate. The acclaimed British series Black Mirror stands out for testing a host of dystopian hypotheticals around new technology. French series Osmosis and British series The One engage with the impact of technology in finding a person's ideal partner. Additionally, Netflix's Love, Death Robots highlights potential mishaps and over-reliance on robots. Various other stories also project their take on AI. The 13th Floor imagines worlds filled with sentient beings for recreation, whereas The Matrix predicts a future ruled by sentient machines treating humans with speciesism. Furthermore, movies like Bicentennial Man and AI and the emergency medical hologram of Starship Voyager toy with the concept of sentient robots that are capable of feelings. The film I, Robot delves into Asimov's three laws, addressing finer aspects. Detroit, Become Human stands out as a prominent video game focusing on the moral complexities of artificial intelligence. Crafted by Quantic Dream, this engaging narrative employs interactive storylines, giving users a heightened sense of immersion in the game world. Players take on the roles of three uniquely aware androids, navigating through various scenarios that require crucial decisions, influencing human perceptions of their robotic kin, each decision guiding the gamers to distinct final outcomes. This presents a rare opportunity to view the narrative from an android's perspective, prompting a deeper understanding of robot rights and welfare in a world potentially occupied by authentic AI. Pivoting talks from feasibility to preference mark a significant turn in AI discourse, best illustrated in The Cosmist and Terrain. Debates instigated by Hugo de Gary's and Kevin Warwick de Gary's definition of cosmist proposes an aspiration to develop a more intelligent entity than the human race itself. Cambridge University scholars have, however, highlighted an issue, arguing that AI is predominantly portrayed as racially white in both fiction and nonfiction. They suggest this representation could skew perceptions of AI's risks and benefit.